so mad because I just started that and then I wasn't sure if it was working. And then my child came in here. He came in here to tell me though that he was that he hoped that I had fun recording this video. So I'm gonna start it all over again. I'm so sorry. So hopefully nobody saw the other one. Anyway, so I'm here to do I'm Inja, one half of Melanin Manga. First of all, I'm gonna do a review on the guy that I was interested in. Wasn't a guy at all. It's a manga that my friend Sheena, the other half of Melanin Manga, gifted to me for my birthday back in April. So I finally got it finished up the this past month, and so I haven't had a chance to like review it or whatever. But I'm excited about it. It's a super good story. Like, I really can't wait to see where it goes. But anyway, so first of all, I'm like a big presentation person. Like, I love things with pretty colors or colors that mesh well together. I love art that looks really good. I love pages that look clean. I don't know, just I'm a big presentation person, and I'm like one of those people, like, I will pick something up because I like the way it looks, right? So this is definitely a book I would have picked up on my own in the store, just because I'm big on like bright greens and blues and bright blues. They're like my favorite colors. I love the color green and black together. Yo, Mike, hello. Um, so like it's got my favorite colors in it. It also has lots of sprinkle of color inside of it, which is really nice, but it still sticks to that like the kind of grayscaled and like black, different variations of grays and white format, like manga drawings do. This one I think is actually it was it was done in Korea, I'm pretty sure, but I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But I think it was. I think that's where they published it starting out. But I could be wrong. Anyway, so yeah, so like instantly drawn to this book already. I also love the look of the characters on the front cover. You can tell they seem like they would be total opposites, right? Look wise, but we all know you can't always judge a person or a book by the cover. Yo, Sheena, hello. That's my other half down there, my shishi, other half of Melanin Manga. So yeah, so also from the cover you can tell that it's going to be kind of grungy, probably, maybe sort of punk rockish, centered around music, right? So all the things that I kind of like. So yeah. Um, so first of all, I just want to start by saying this one is a more along the lines of a Yuri, which is like girl and girl, right? Centers around girl relationships. My Shishi, she loves Yao books, which are BL books, boy and boy. They center around boy on boy relationships, right? So she like knows me and knows that like I would gravitate more to this than the BL. I mean, I like reading BL too, but I don't know. I think I get more out of the Yuri side of things than the Yao side. So anyway, so this book, the first couple of pages are done in color. Are they not gorgeous, first of all? Right? So we have this high school girl. She's running to a record store because one of her favorite singles, I think, may have just dropped. And she is like interested in getting it, right? Her friends in high school don't really understand her taste in music, right? Her taste in music is completely different than what her friends listen to. So she doesn't really have anyone to relate to when it comes to that. And you can tell, like, music is her absolute life. Like, it drives her, I feel like. Like, it's kind of what keeps her going, so to say. Kind of like, I feel like a lot of people are kind of like that, you know, you can just relate to different types of songs and lyrics and stuff, and you know. So anyway, so she goes into this record store. The guy that is working at the record store lets her listen to some things, right? And she's like totally taken aback and shocked, right? Well, the guy at the record store actually ends up being one of her classmates. And it's a classmate that looks completely different, right? Completely different. Like, you wouldn't even be able to tell that they're the same person. Of course, we know it's the same person, right? But she doesn't. And so she's just like gushing about like this CD shop guy she met, you know, like how hot they were, how like, you know, pretty much made her like swoon. How he has good taste in music, like, you know. And so, like, on the inside, homegirl over here is like, she's like, oh, I'm kind of interested, you know, like, in what she thought about me, but also high key freaking out, you know? So, I just thought that that part was funny. So, this is pretty much how the majority of the book goes. It's like one side knows who the other side is, but this other side doesn't, okay? Oh, hi, Kaleem. Hi, Goobert. So, this is how their relationship is. So the guy, which I don't remember, what is her name? Mitsuki, right? Yeah, Mitsuki. Okay, so it's Aya and Mitsuki. So Mitsuki is the one that works at the CD shop, and Aya is the one that visited the CD shop. The CD shop is ran by Mitsuki's uncle, and then Aya just works, you know, front counter and stuff. She also plays instruments. She's super freaking cool, right? So later on in the story, some things come to fruition, and so then they kind of have to deal with their relationship. Then you know, things kind of change. It becomes more awkward, like once she has a realization like who this guy, who really isn't a guy, it was actually a girl, is she kind of gets awkward and is more self-conscious and kind of starts like avoiding her, and then they kind of avoid each other, and then it kind of leads to this like misunderstanding, all the things, right? So this book, I love that about this book, but I feel like it's deeper. I feel like it's deeper than girl meets girl who she thinks is a guy and ends up falling in love, right? I don't really think that it's the typical, like, that typical kind of Yuri relationship, or like any kind of like slice of life style book where you have two younger people who meet, they kind of fall head over heels for each other. I think it's more about finding your place with your people, right? So like, they are both in their own way outcast. Although Aya has friends that she hangs out with, she has guys that like her. She's very likable, she's popular, she's outspoken. And then you have Mitsuki, who is the total opposite, right? Even though Aya is like that kind of popular figure and is more out there and is more sociable, she's not really seen. She doesn't really have anyone who sees her or who understands her for who she is. She doesn't have friends that can relate to her taste in music or like what she likes. And so that's kind of what she finds in Mitsuki. And so at first I was like, oh, this is going to be like one of those, like, they're so going to be together. You know what I mean? But it's definitely a story that's deeper than that. And that's what I appreciate about the story. It's more so about how we can bond with people who are total opposites, not from the same lifestyle, not from the same walks of life. We don't may not look the same. We may not live in the same areas. Whatever it is, But if we have this love of like this of just art and like music itself that transcends any other barriers, right? And so that's kind of what happens in this book, and that's what I love about that. Yo Alonzo, is that it's more of a story about how music itself is this like magical art form and has its own magical language that enables us to transcend these barriers and helps us to break through like these biases that we may have towards or about other people, right? It's like being able to see someone raw and without all of the frills and whatever else, and being able to see like deep in their heart, you know, for who they are. I feel like music is very much so that way, and it's one of those things. It's it brings people together. And that is what this book, I feels like, is really trying to say and encompasses. And so I'm very much appreciative of the writing in this book. I love that they show the struggles that both girls go through in this book, separate, and then that struggle they kind of go through together. Because towards the end, it's not really about Mitsuki wanting to like be with Aya. It's more like she wants to start as friends first, and she is like, it's more like they've kind of met their soulmates in one another, you know what I mean? But not like on this like super romantic-y level. Like there's definitely attraction there. Definitely 100%. Like the way Mitsuki acts when she's not in school, I'm like, I mean, she'd make my heart swim, you know? For real. But yeah, it's so good. And that's kind of like how I feel about music itself too, is that it's just one of those things that you could go and meet your best friend through your taste in music, which is pretty much what they have done. It's also cool too because it shows like her uncle and how he feels about, like, he's so worried about his niece. Like he knows that she's kind of a loner and keeps to herself and doesn't really isn't very outgoing, doesn't really participate in other things. Like her life is pretty much music and working at the CD shop, and she plays guitar, electric guitar. So like he's like, oh my god, Mitsuki, my baby's like growing up. Like there's this girl that keeps coming in, she's interested in her. And I love like the uncle is so freaking cool because he does not care if it is like a girl or a guy that's coming to visit his niece or that his niece may have this like relationship with. He's like, yo, you know what I mean? Like he is hyping her up either way. Like you can tell he's very open and very accepting. And so I loved seeing that piece of it as well. So yeah, I would recommend this book. I would give it a 9 out of 10 easy, for sure. Just because the art's beautiful, it's funny, it has some good points in there. It's not like there wasn't anything that I felt that was boring about it at all. Like the story was really interesting throughout. They have some like songs in there like that I listened to when I was younger that, you know, absolutely loved. I love the kind of like punky, grungy like feel that it has. I love the nostalgia of like them being in a CD shop because that's something that we don't in the States here anyway that I know of. We don't really have that anymore. Like that's something that has come to pass and is no longer a thing. It's no longer with the times. So like I remember what it was like going into you know, like a CD shop, and they had the headphones that you could listen to, right? And you could pick whatever song that they had on the list that was kind of popular before you went out and like bought the CD, or you could scan the little CD under their whatever you call it. You don't know what I'm talking about. you could scan that and then it would play, you know, like little snippets of songs on the album and stuff. So like reading this book brought me back to that time, like a time that I miss, like a time that I wish that, you know, we were still able to do some of those things. So yeah, I definitely give it a 9 out of 10 for sure. So I hope that you all check it out. It is the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all. It's by Sumiko Arai. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. But yeah, it's through Yen Press. The rating is T for teen. I feel like that's pretty spot on. There's nothing that's like, you know, it's not adulty or whatever, but it's not like super kiddie either, you know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. If you end up getting it, let me know what you think about it in the comments, please. I would be super curious to know. And if you like it and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm out. Bye. I gotta figure out how to end it though. I just thought it was out. Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm really out. Bye.